Minister.
Hello, Minister.
Thanks.
Good. Can you tell us what are you expecting today at today's meeting in terms of decisions?
I'm expecting an agreement in principle in Greece, subject to some technical review in the next couple of weeks. But I think that Greece has put a lot of new measures through their parliament yesterday, and I think that's probably sufficient to meet the requirements of the group here in principle. I think there'll be a discussion then on a variety of issues after that, but the main business will be Greece.
Will there be a decision taken on debt relief measures for Greece today?
I think there'll be a discussion on it, but I think, as was the decision at the last meeting, there'll be immediate steps which will be suggested, medium-term steps and more distant steps. And there'll be a fairly detailed discussion on that, setting out a kind of roadmap. But the roadmap to be activated in future years as certain benchmark dates are met.
And does Ireland see the IMF's participation in the third bailout as essential? Do we need the IMF's involvement to
we believe the IMF should stay in. The IMF have been an integral part of all programmes up to now, and we hope that the IMF will stay in. We understand there are still some difficulties between the IMF and the Commission, and I'm sure they'll be addressed today, and we'll see how the various drafts develop as the day goes by to accommodate the IMF position.
Mr. Noonan, debt relief aside on Greece, do you expect a decision of some kind of green light today from the Eurogroup on an aid disbursement for Greece?
I do.
You do?
just subject to technical clarification?
Yeah.
Minister, on domestic issues, the last week the Commission issued its country recommendations for Ireland. It talked about budgets and maybe missing our 2016 structural targets. Do you think you would ask the Commission for more flexibility, especially seen as Spain, Portugal and Italy were granted extra flexibility?
Well, it's a draft paper, as you know. So we will have our input now with the Commission, and we will point out where we believe they're mistaken, as we think they are about 2016, and then we'll wait for the final paper. But by and large the paper was very positive, but there are some differences of opinion and there are some issues in which we believe the Commission is mistaken, and we will pursue those with a view to ironing out these difficulties before the final draft is published.
So are you convinced, especially given the gangland shooting this morning in Dublin, do you think that the Garda is underfunded, and would we need extra funding to deal with that security threat?
We're taking a very big jump now. I was travelling across before the shooting took place in Dublin. I understand the Minister for Justice has put out a statement, and I have nothing to add to her statement.
Minister, in terms of tomorrow's discussion on tax, the Commission's anti-tax avoidance package has been put before Member States. What are you going to be saying to your fellow ministers there? Are there any concerns from Ireland's perspective?
I think it's not ready for decision yet. I think many countries have difficulties with different aspects of it. Ireland's position is that we agree with the initiative and we agree with the general approach, but we have some questions to raise, and we hope our concerns will be met. But we don't have unique concerns. Any concern we have is shared by other member states. But my main point will be that the paper isn't developed enough to take a decision tomorrow and needs more consideration.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.